Good day, boaters. It's beautiful out today. My thermometer says 73 degrees. It's beautiful. It's dry. It's not humid. It's been so humid here in New Jersey. It's been kind of nasty, although I'd much rather have that than the cold. A lot of people will disagree with that. Anyway, don't forget my used outboard motor buying guides for sale on Amazon right now for $20. If you send me proof of purchase at keith@outboarddad.com, I will send you, or I will call you and give you a free half-hour session over the phone. It's a $250 value to help you with a motor that you're working on, or maybe a motor you're looking to purchase, or a boat you're looking to purchase. Had a gentleman that bought my guide, young guy, just bought his first boat. Of course, he didn't have the guide. He's hoping everything's okay, so he's going to bring the boat over. Not only am I going to go ahead and do a evaluation for him to see what he bought and where he's at with it. Of course, the owner swears the motor's good, everything was good. We're going to do a checkout, and then we're going to take it on a sea trial. He's never owned a boat, never trailered a boat, so we're going to go through all the basics. That'll be the next guide that I'm going to come out with, is when you're first-time boat buyer, trailering a boat. I'm going to have a specific guide just for those smaller boats that you buy, that you're going to trailer, what things you need to look for, and how to get to the boat ramp, the things you need to do when you get at the boat ramp. It can be very tricky. A lot of people get very heated at the boat ramp if you get in their way, or they feel you're not moving fast enough, right? Taking your time and being safe is key, so that'll be the next guide that I'm going to shoot to come out with very soon. So we're continuing on, and keep in mind, this guide is just a very brief guide. This is kind of a grab and go with some details that you need to know. It just hits the high points. It can save you thousands if you don't look at these things and find out their problems down the road. So don't expect this to be in-depth detail of every single motor that's out there and every single boat. These are just the basics you need to know when purchasing a motor or an outboard motor for your boat, or a boat with an outboard motor. Okay, so we're continuing on now with this lower unit that's been fighting me. We did get it apart. We did get the bearing carriers out, and it seems that our shaft, it looks really good where the seals meet, so that we can redo this. And if you remember, I had previous videos recently where it was kind of a bust. I wasn't able to rebuild them because this shaft was pitted, was not worth rebuilding, because buying a shaft, you could buy a used lower unit somewhere. So I'm about 2 hours into this one right now, so it's a lot longer than I expected, but Rick wants to get out on the water and I want to help him. So that being said, our drive shaft gear now is stuck. I sprayed it, let it sit for a little while. Had a few ideas I was thinking of, because it's very hard to get some good leverage to pull up on this. So I'm going to put this in the vise, and I'm going to take a block of wood, and I'm going to try and tap down on it, see if we can just get enough pressure. I'm also concerned about the bearing inside here, so we may reuse a lower unit that I put outside, thinking I wasn't going to use it again, because that one had the bent skeg and everything. I think the rest of it was okay, so we may be using parts from a lot of different things to get Rick out on the water. So let's see what we can do here, if we can get this in the vise in such a way where I can get some downforce on this. Let's see. Never tried this before, but we're gonna give it a shot, see how it works. Have some rags down here. I'll put my pad down here as a cushion. Trying to save this, and I don't know why. I think I'm gonna hit on this side first. That worked. All right, so I wasn't too concerned about this part here. We will inspect it further for sure, but we want to take a look at this drive shaft because this is the part we were concerned about. And you can see there's a mark here. That's where the plate is, so maybe the plate wasn't aligned right or something. But down here where the seals go is where we're more concerned, and that's down here. So we still have good bearings here and shims. There's no rust on this, so this is in good shape to be reused. So we can reuse the shaft. Now we need to look at the bearing that's inside there. Wow, it may not be too bad. Maybe we can reuse it. Let's see. Let's get the rest of the gears out of here. Not worried about ruining these gears. Sometimes it's a little tricky just to pop that one past. I have pretty much every tool here on the bench now. I need to do some cleanup. So here's one of our major culprits here. So this is what happens to your gears when either you get water in there or something must have happened. Not sure why this got so damaged now. Our forward or reverse gear, you can see chunks missing out of it, but not as severe as that. So let's get the rest of this out. Make sure our shift shaft is down all the way. Well, that's locked in there now. That might not come out. That might be the detriment to this. I don't think this is going to move. It's jammed up in there pretty good. I think at this point, it's not worth spending a whole lot of time. I could put a puller on this. And it is not budging. So at this point, I don't see it worth the time for Rick to spend for me to go through this and get this out of here and everything right now. So I think I'm going to kind of work with Rick on the other lower unit I have. Let's take a look at that and make sure the center bearing is okay on that one. Okay, we brought this one in from outside. Well, I mean my shed. And I don't know if you can see down inside there. I don't know if we're going to be able to get this on camera, but we see the bearing in there. Looks really good. The surfaces here look to be okay. So this was the one that also had a drive shaft problem. The rest of the gears and everything were okay. I actually put them in my shed. We lubricated them all up and stored them, and I put them up for sale on Facebook Marketplace. So I will put this together for Rick. I'm not even going to call him and ask him. I'll shoot him a quick text now, let him know that his lower unit is not worth him spending me all that time to do that. I'll have that conversation with him. But I'm just going to go ahead and start reassembling this. Of course, I'm going to need to get a seal kit for it, but I want to make sure all the parts line up. The good part is we're going to put the guts back in this that came out of it. So it's really only the drive shaft and all the seals that we're going to replace. So that's what we'll do. So I spoke with Rick. He was good with, he said, listen, I got to get it running, whatever it is. I gave him a not to exceed number. I know this is going to go beyond what you would pay someone to do, but I want to help Rick get things going. So I gave him a not to exceed number, which he was good with. Now the next steps is I did check this bearing, everything was okay with it. I also slid the shaft in just to make sure. I also checked where the bearings meet here that wasn't ruined. And obviously we know where the seals meet here, which is good and not ruined. Those are the key points here, because if that was bad and it was pitted here and the bearing, then it would just eat up again. And maybe you'd get a season out of it and it would be another problem. And also these surfaces are all good and well lubricated. So even though this had some water in it, the lube was still taking care of it. So that's in good shape. So what we're going to do is clean everything now. So I got to clean up my bench. We're going to get the lower unit in my parts washer. I'll probably blast it out with a hose first just to put some degreaser in there just to get the major stuff out. But I want to make sure it's spotless. We're going to clean everything really good. Remember, I heated a lot of stuff up. And then we're going to take all the best parts. It's really just the drive shaft is really the only thing we needed for this lower unit to work. I did do a short video on straightening the skeg. It never works, of course. In the video I got it somewhat straight, which is pretty funny, but it does have a crack in it. Just going to leave it. If he wants to weld it, put his skeg guard on it, it's up to him what he wants to do with it. So let's get this cleaned up next, and then when we continue on in the next video, we're going to go ahead and start reassembling all of this. Now there is some specifics, and I'm looking for feedback from you guys on how you set this up to make sure there's not enough, or the shims are correct, and how you shim a lower unit. Now I've been taught some old school ways also, that if you're reassembling an existing unit, that it's not as important to do that, but if you're taking parts from another, that's when you have issues. Please let me know your opinion and how you do it without the Evinrude shim tool. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.